Women are meant to have one cycle once every 4 years. But based on the diet and the way everybody treat their bodies, you have a period, menstrual cycle once a month. All it is the body, your body pushing out toxins. Now trust me.
Actually, no. The real truth of the matter is that we're not supposed to have periods at all. Meaning we're not supposed to bleed at all. In fact, the only reason we do bleed is because of the mutation that created y'all, men, with the Y chromosome. In fact, before the Y chromosome mutated out of the double X that we had originally as we created ourselves by ourselves, before the mutation of the Y gene degenerated and lost its arm or leg, however you want to see it, the eggs that did not get fertilized from the that we had back then that is still present in our bone marrow today, you can see evidence of that from back then, just got absorbed within our body. In fact, the story in the Bible that speaks on Eve and the pain of menstruation and childbirth is actually telling of what happened with that chromosome. If you notice, the snake's tongue is in the shape of a Y. That is to describe the Y chromosome. And that is why the Y is actually an X that lost its leg. Just like how the Bible said how the snake lost its legs. God said you will no longer have legs and you're going to slither on your belly, kind of like a sperm. And inside that apple is the shape of an X with a seed to describe the XX chromosome and the seed within the apple. The Y came along, caused some trouble for us, and that is what brought along the pain and the bleeding of menstruation. In fact, that's what the snake was. It was the Y chromosome. It's just that story. It's a breakdown of that. The pain of menstruation and the bleeding is because of y'all men. The reason we have menstruation and period is because of y'all, which makes it shocking that you're the one coming and telling us this when in fact y'all the fucking cause. And just like your video, you can put my video on. Trust me, bro.
What I'm trying to figure out is why you as a man are trying to tell us what's supposed to happen with our bodies, what's naturally supposed to happen with our bodies. If a woman had a cycle once every 4 years, that would be cause for huge fucking concern, okay? Our bodies naturally shed once a month. They naturally shed. The only way we're not gonna have a period is if we get on birth control or we get pregnant. Those are the only, in menopause. Those are only ways that our body is not gonna naturally have a fucking period. Like, you acting like we out here taking pills to make our bodies bleed once a month. Like, we can't stop this shit. It's supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen. Never speak on this subject again, okay? Thanks.
Mati. Paske ou pa ka dim sistem edukasyon Ameriken osi mal ke sa. Ou pa ka dim sa men. Mpa vle kwe, Mati. Mpa vle kwe mdou. Cause ain't no way that just came out of your mouth, bro. Basic biology. Retounem nan peyi, mjezi. Retounem nan peyi.
We didn't ask for that. Your mansplaining of the female human body. Your false science. Just shut up. We didn't.
Shut the fuck up! My God!
What kind of wish.com OBGYN do you think you are? But even worse, who are the ignorant 17,000 people who liked this shit? Once every 4 years. Let's just look at this from a logical standpoint. If a woman was only going to menstruate once every 4 years, that means she would only be fertile once every 4 years. Which means best case scenario, we would only be able to normally have one child at a time once every 4 years. How exactly is a species supposed to propagate across the fucking globe and basically take over everything to the point where we're basically changing the planetary scale of how things work by just existing, if we were only having one kid every 4 fucking years? I don't understand how this kind of ignorance could actually permeate the brain like this. Like, someone needs to study this level of ignorance.
Bro, shut up. Did you really just try to say if you eat holistically, you won't get a period? Well, let me guess. You just found out tampons weren't free? Here's another quick thought, quicker than yours too. I think that if you're gonna vote on an issue, you should be able to answer basic one-on-one questions about that issue.
2 things. Number 1, I was just on this ad talking about how I want old heads, the salt and pepper beard, if this is how you talk, I'm all set. Number 2, all the women in the comments who are saying they haven't had their period in years. I don't know if it was menopause. I don't know if it's PCOS. But go see your gyno. Because if you're listening to a man say you should have your period with a leap year, I think we lost you. Health class? Y'all are grown adults in this comment section. This is a grown man.
Everyone with a social media account shouldn't pretend that they have a platform. Did you even go to like gynecology school? Like, what do you know about a woman's body outside? You know what? Never mind.
I don't know why you guys are arguing with this man. We learned about this in health class. It happens every 4 years on February 29th. We all sit in the bathtub and shed 48 eggs. And I feel like the only people denying this fact are the people who consistently, every 4 years, forget to Postmate 2 gallons of blood, a syringe, and a tube. And they're always texting their friends last minute, does anyone have an extra bag of blood? And it's like, no, you know that we're all sitting in the bathtub. And it's like, I'm just sick of this misinformation. Like, this app has become Facebook. And quite frankly, I can't deal with it anymore.
Why does it seem like at least once a year we have a gentleman on the internet trying to mansplain periods to us? And I know you guys can't hear the sound on the original clip because I needed the full 3 minutes to get through this video. Because even though we know what he's saying is nonsense, there are people who are young and impressionable and may not know better. But I am going to go through this objectively, so I'm going to point out what he got correct and incorrect. The first thing that he got wrong is saying that periods are unnatural. Periods are by far one of the most natural things that the human body does. He then said that your diet affects the periods, which is 100% true. Healthy body means healthy cycle. So yes, having an unhealthy diet can affect your menstrual cycle. Then he said that periods were every 4 years. I have no idea where he got that number from, but it is completely false. The menstrual cycle is approximately 28 days long, okay? Some a little more, some a little less. Every woman's body is different. If yours is significantly off from 28 days, follow up with your GYN to make sure that everything is okay. Something that he did get correct is that periods should not be painful and you should not be hemorrhaging. Now, when your body is trying to get rid of that lining from your uterus will contract. So you will feel some discomfort, but they should not be extremely painful, nor should you be hemorrhaging. You should not be saturating more than a pad every 1 to 2 hours. If you are bleeding more than that, you again need to follow up with a specialist. He then went on to say that if you are a holistic person, your cycle will be every 4 years. Again, false. The healthier you are, the more care you take for your body, the more regular your cycle will be, the closer it'll be to that 28 days. And then he said periods are about pushing out toxins. That is completely false. Women experience periods every month because their body is preparing for pregnancy. Your uterus lining fills with blood so that it can nourish the fertilized egg. If the egg does not get fertilized, if the woman does not get pregnant, the egg will pass. And because the uterus was not utilized, it no longer needs that blood in the lining. So it will then pass the blood out. That's why women get periods every 28 days. Now, if we want to talk about a holistic perspective, what else is 28 days? What other cycle do we know of that's 28 days? The lunar cycle, okay? So if the moon is cycling every 28 days, why would it be unnatural for a woman's body to do the same thing? Let's really think about the misinformation that we're putting on the internet because it could be very harmful, okay?
Why are you mansplaining to women what our bodies do? Sir, you probably don't even understand the anatomy of the female body. You probably don't know where the clit is. You probably don't know what the urethra is. So how are you gonna tell us what our bodies are supposed to do? And I understand that you're trying to get people to eat healthy or whatever the case is, live a holistic life. But let me tell you something. My mother is almost 48, 49 years old. This woman has done nothing but live her life eating holistically, cleansing her body to the point of where she cleansed, trigger warning, she cleansed worms out of her face. She eats diatomaceous earth. She churns her own butter. Like, this woman is the definition of what you would call a holistic woman. And when I tell you that woman still bleeds every month just like the rest of us, I am telling you the truth. Oh, why you thought it was a good idea to come up here and try to mansplain to a bunch of women about what our bodies should and should not do? But whatever kind of science, pseudoscience, whatever you got going on, I would do a little bit more research on the female anatomy and the female body and how bodies actually work before you come up here saying some nonsense like this again. Are you married? Do you have kids? Ooh, Lord, not this early in the morning.